gonna go on, are we gonna go to Facebook?
Not right now. Do you wanna?
I mean, I don't see why not.
All right, I'm heading over.
Okay.
Talk nicely now while the page is loading, because Facebook might have us live,
Facebook might have us live. Yeah.
even though I can't see it. What do you? Well, I'm not sharing my screen either.
It'll pop up and say that this meeting is being recorded.
What am I doing?
And
Where's
it'll say that
multi?
this and then it'll say that this meeting is being live streamed.
Oh, I navigated away from there. Facebook is still loading. I'm closing the Facebook browser. All right, I'm going to try again. All right. All right, I'm continuing as Stacey, and we're going to go live. Three, two, one. We're probably live already.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't say it, so I think it takes a minute to do it.
Yeah, but when we watched that replay before, we were on before we were on.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
There we
Um,
are. All right, how
we're
do I do
there.
multi-speaker?
There's a little place up the top that says view, and it should be able to,
Oh, there it is.
yeah, see, see if that works.
And I'm not getting any weird feedback. And so
No,
I have a delay on my end,
yeah.
but I'm not watching the Facebook. I'm watching us. All right.
We
So
did it. We
we
did
did
it.
it.
How many months did it take us? Two,
What are we
three?
here for? What are we doing
What are
today?
what are we here for? Yeah. So my name is Casey and this is Stacy, and we have been sharing a combined century of wisdom, and we've been doing this for I don't know how many moons we've been been doing this. This is our first live stream through Zoom on Facebook.
I'm going to peek
Yeah.
at us and see how we're doing. How we
Yeah.
doing in the background? We're doing good in the background. What's nice about Facebook is that when one of us talks, it changes the screen to the person who's talking.
Oh, instead of seeing both of us at the same time?
Yeah, but on the Zoom, it's both of us.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and there's definitely a delay.
So
All right.
today,
So, hey, what are we
yeah,
talking about? Let's talk more about Facebook Live. We're going to talk about Halloweeny. Today's
yeah,
topic is Halloween and how it's gone from a Celtic tradition to trick or treat with candy and
yes,
how what's going on in there and why do
yeah.
we so what do you know about how do you pronounce that word salmon Samine
So in, so in,
so Wayne I know because Celtic is weird the way it's spelled and how
yeah.
you pronounce
I'm
it.
not exactly sure how to pronounce it. It's Sahmaine, I think, Soane or
So
Soin.
Wayne,
Yeah.
So the Celtics did it. It was the day of um
It was a day to celebrate the harvest. It was also considered a festival to ward off evil spirits. And
yeah, that's
that's a little bit about where the bonfires came from, um, wearing costumes, jack-o'-lanterns, and things like that to ward off evil spirits to protect their crops. And yeah, I'm sure I'm sure there was some kind of feast, which might be a little bit of the appropriation of the candy that we now give out during trick or treat. What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, but did the feast did you have to show up and say trick or treat?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know the whole origins of trick or
I mean,
treat.
I don't think so either, and I don't think the feast I think the feast was a celebration of the harvest. And look at how abundant
Yes.
and bountiful we are. And let's eat this awesome food and gather
Yes.
together and enjoy each other's company and celebrate. So it kind of goes along with the previous video we did about the end of a cycle, the harvest, the ending of the growing season and harvesting. And so it's kind of in line with that. I personally don't know, and I'm not going to start talking tinfoil hat stuff because I don't know how accurate some of that tinfoil hat stuff is. And there's craziness going on out there right now. And I was not there when it went from, but I do remember being a kid, like, what is trick or treat? Like, why are
Mm,
we saying trick or treat? And like the meaning behind that phrase. I mean, some people would say we're giving evil spirits permission to trick us. But
okay.
right? But it's the day of warding off spirits.
Right.
So how did but just like all the good stuff in this reality, how did it get flipped from
That, yeah, that I don't know. I mean, I
celebrating a
could,
feast and celebrating your abundance and warding off spirits to now you're getting sucked in by a
mm,
spirit. Now,
right.
spirit's going to trick you. I mean, I remember asking my parents as a kid, like card tricks, like what happens if you say trick? Like the kid walks up to the house trick or treat. Oh, it's a trick instead. Like what
Mm,
exactly kind of trick was that? My parents didn't have an answer.
mm.
But it's more fun. How did it go from being innocent to let's scare each other with our costumes and blood, guts, and gore?
Yeah, I think,
And all the movies, Halloween, the movie series, and then all the horror movies out there.
yeah.
I know,
Uh,
right?
well, I mean, I think a lot of it, okay, so a lot of it I think has to do with the overall kind of commercialization that we've surrounded around these holy days, right? So like you can't turn on any streaming service right now without seeing scary shit. You
Yeah.
just you
Let's get
can't.
freaked out. Let's get scared. I mean, I went through a whole period in my teenage years. We were trying to see if we could find the goriest, most horrible movies at the rental joint down the street, 99-cent movie. And I mean, like, why? I mean, Hellraiser, that was super gory.
Yeah,
How does that
we
come from a festival and a feast? And now
uh
we're throwing candy at kids and we're blood, guts, and gore. So let's talk more about what you know about Halloween.
Right. It's a borrowing from European traditions, and um and once it was borrowed from European traditions, young women used to
Young women used to do what?
believe that on Halloween they could divine the name or appearance of their husbands, and they would do so with tricks, with yarn, like that yarn game, Cats in the Cradle. Do you know that one?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Um, or apple parents or
interesting.
mirrors. So that's one thing. That's one of the evolutions of this particular festival. Um, and then I think it began to just evolve, and we at the time, as a more Protestant nation, we started to evolve it into something that was about scary stuff, instead of thinking of it as a festival to ward off the evil spirits. And I think that's kind of where the trick or treat came in. And then if you also look a little bit into the harvest festival and who was in charge of I don't want to say in charge, but what deities they were worshiping during that time, a lot of them were kind of like tricksters, right? Like Pan, he was considered a trickster, a shapeshifter, and all of those um, things that were borrowed from the Jewish tradition. Um, and as we evolved as a society in the West, we took all of that and I think in many ways just said exactly how we do with most of our festivals or traditions. The powers that be, I'll just say the powers that be were like, okay, how can we make a bunch of money off of this? And Halloween is one of the most Halloween, the Harvest Festival is one of the most commercialized um, holy days ever. I think in the week before the festival, and I'll just call it a festival because that was the original tradition of it.
Yep, yep.
The week before it, there are over 3 billion pounds of candy sold in the United States, and that's just in the United States.
That's huge.
It is huge. It is huge. Yeah.
I think even the commercialized version of Halloween has changed in the regard that people are afraid for their children's safety more
Mm,
now than they used to be. For us back in the late 70s, it was in early 80s, it was about razor blades and poison in your candy, and don't accept anything that wasn't from the store. If it
yeah,
wasn't wrapped in a package from the store, you were not to eat it.
I remember
And
those days.
we used to have a neighbor that used to make like Rice Krispie treats, and she would put in like extra butter and extra marshmallows in them bad boys, and they were so good. And my mom was like, oh, yeah, those are not, but they came from up the street. Like, I know who made those.
Yeah,
It didn't come from the people that were 8 blocks away.
yeah,
It came from the lady up the street. You'd have to like convince your mom. And then of course any candy that came unwrapped was considered razor blade candy, and you weren't allowed to eat it. And we would, because we lived in the suburbs, and we would go as far away as we could walk And by the time we were coming, we had pillowcases. By the time we were on our way back, we were dragging our candy. We were so exhausted. We were crabby. We didn't care. I just want to drop this load of candy. And we had some fun costumes. I wasn't ever really anything scary. We were robots one year. We had fun making our costumes.
Yeah, yeah. I
You know,
think
because
we,
that was a part of the fun was being crafty and making your own thing.
yeah. And
But
I think,
nowadays it's different now.
yeah, I'm not, I don't even, yeah, I don't even know what it's like now. I think the last time, um, it's been a long time, several years since I was out trick-or-treating with like my nieces or nephews. And we would do the same, the same thing. We would walk to the neighborhoods with the big houses that had the like bowl candy bars with my nieces and nephews. And you and I are from a different era
Right.
than others. So I think that we were kind of as we were growing and as we were growing into past the age of being able to trick or treat, we did have homemade costumes. And we did, it wasn't until I was probably 11 or 12 that the whole like candy scare came where there were people that were putting inappropriate things to hurt people in the candy. And I don't even know if that was like, if that was I don't even know if that was legit, but I remember there was kind of like this whole campaign of, hey, like you said, don't trust your neighbor, don't trust this person. If it's handmade, just throw it right away. Only accept things that were in the wrapper. And I I cannot, I mean, I think when we were trick-or-treating when I was small, when I was smaller, um, we would get like popcorn balls wrapped in cellophane,
Yeah. Yep.
um, pennies, pencils. Um, yeah, I don't remember this whole a whole lot of candy. I remember once we would go to like a church function and there'd be like cakes and candies and apple what is that? Apple bobbing?
Yeah.
Bobbing for
Dunking,
apples.
bobbing for apples.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a different time. The days of, as one of my favorite social media influencers say, these were the days before. This was the time of how you and I, the Gen X generation, grew up with trick-or-treating. And I think that I mean, I don't even remember. I think maybe we'd go with like a babysitter, or unless it was at a church function, we would go with a babysitter. But I think like just along the street at in our neighborhood, um,
We
it
didn't
was
go with anybody. It was just me, my brother, and my
it just
cousin.
turned you out into the neighborhood.
And my dad would be gone somewhere, and my mom would dress up in a scary outfit and light the pumpkins and pass out candy. And that was part of the fun too, was like decorating and stuff, but it wasn't, we didn't have plastic skeletons that were 3 stories high.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
you had to kind of get creative with your, and the people handing out the candy would dress up and then they would try and guess what you were.
right.
Oh, I know what you are. And you would, because you made your own costume.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating to look at the stats a little bit surrounding this festival or this Halloween that we have now, right? So clearly, I think in the United States, maybe in some other Western countries, Christmas is the big money, is like all of our efforts. I mean, I think they're even starting to put Christmas decorations up in certain stores and I love Christmas. We talked about this before, but um they they're even starting to like get the decorations out, and it hasn't even reached this fall festival or this festival of the harvest yet. And Americans, like I said, billions of pounds of candy equals billions of dollars. And we spend between 11 and 13. I'm going to say we, because I've been known to pick up a treat or two from the gas station. I have a dear friend of mine that loves those, what are they called? Reese's Pieces thingies. And they only come out Halloween, Christmas, and Easter. Oh, maybe they have a Valentine's Day one now.
You're
But
talking the hearts, the
the
pumpkins.
hearts, the pumpkins, like
They've got the
love, love,
football for
love.
football season, the tree for
Oh, they have a
Christmas.
football now. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay,
They've
so
got
it's
the
not
little
just,
medal award medal. Yeah, because I used to eat those. I used to
yeah,
love those, but I
yeah.
stopped. I don't eat that anymore. I
Anyway, so it's $11 billion for billions of pounds of candy that we are spending as a society just in the United States of America on this festival.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't lived in an area that's been big, and this is part of what I think has changed with how it's interesting. You mentioned church function. So now, and we used to do haunted houses when I was growing up. Somebody would do their garage or their basement for a couple
Mhm.
days and have all the neighborhood kids walk through, and they'd make you touch stuff that was food, but they brains, eyeballs. And then you would scream and freak out, bobbing for apples, hanging out, listening to music. And nowadays, instead of going house to house trick or treating, church parking lots, so you do trunk or treat,
Mhm.
which you show up and decorate your car and offer candy in the church parking lot instead of kids walking around the neighborhood. Which
It's great.
what's the difference between Jimmy Razorblade at his own front door and Jimmy Razorblade out of the trunk of his car?
Right. Right.
But
Yeah, I think
for
that
some reason, and while
I
we're
think that
talking
it's
about Jimmy Razorblade, we never found anything funky in our candy ever.
yeah.
Ever. We
Yeah.
we never found, and I
Yeah.
think it was scare tactics. I mean, there's nothing wrong with be aware of weirdos out there, but it was way too. And I remember even like asking, like, are you serious? Like, like it didn't make, because I'm like super analytical and like mechanical. Like, you would definitely know if there was a razor blade in your piece of candy. Like, the only way they could fit, it'd have to be in a little Snickers. There's no way that you're gonna get a razor blade in some of this candy.
Yeah. I mean,
And for me as a kid, it made no sense. But that's me because I've always been like this
well,
world
yeah.
that's never made sense to me. So
And we were
I was
kids.
never worried about it.
Yeah, and we were kids. We
And I
as
used to sneak. I would pocket that Rice Krispie bar, and she never knew. She never knew we had the Rice Krispie bar from the lady up the street that we should trust because
yeah.
we talk to her all the time. And her kid, we hang with her kids. Come on.
I
So
I mean we could go into a fantasy kind of hypothetical situation. Was that propaganda put out in order for these candy companies to make more money? Because like I said, when I was trick-or-treating, it was like pencils, hard candy, like the kind of hard candy you would find in your grandma's purse,
yeah.
uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Ribbon
popcorn,
candy. We
popcorn
would get
balls.
popcorn. We got
Um,
pencils. We got money. The UNICEF
Money,
people would
yes,
throw
money,
pennies and
um,
nickels in there.
like bouncy balls and just
Yep, Super
those kinds
Bowls.
of things. And then all of the sudden it exploded into this is the time that the kids get out and fill their bags with all of this commercial candy.
Sugar!
But
I mean,
we don't have any actual proof of that, but it is something that you can think about. Is
oh no,
that
I'm 100% with you right there that it was because I don't know when did Hallmark holiday become a phrase for the
mm,
holidays? I mean, if you really want to throw money at a holiday, let's talk about Valentine's Day and the expectations of Valentine's Day, especially for people that are not in serious relationships but are just dating
mm,
or just not serious.
mm,
And does the woman expect something? Does the man feel the pressure? Are are you required to go have a dinner at the five-star Michelin joint? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Is it isn't it just okay to go hang at the neighborhood Applebee's or the mom and pop or even the steakhouse? You
mm,
know, and how much money do you spend on your woman on Valentine's Day? And I have friends who don't even celebrate and they are anti Valentine's Day. And I think I brought this up before. They
yeah,
will exchange cards in the store. They'll be in the
oh,
card section in the store
yeah.
and he'll find one he likes and she'll find one she likes and then they exchange them right there. They go, I love you, honey. This is so fun. Hi, Harry. Happy fucking Valentine's Day. And they put the card back and they go about their business.
That's what my in-laws do. Yeah, my in-laws do that for birthdays, uh, for their Christmas, for their Valentines. I think even for their anniversary, they go into whatever store sells holiday cards and they just find one and then they exchange it there and then they put it back, which is quite sweet. It is a date in itself. Um,
Well, then you
if you
don't have
think
a
about it.
bunch of cards laying around. I mean, I
Right.
got a little
Because then
pile
you're
of
like,
cards.
oh, exactly. Because then you're like, oh, I need to keep that. I mean, Jason and I have been
I
together
have
for
a memory.
we've been together for a long time. And
Yeah,
I
Brazilian
have
ears.
the billions of years. And I still, and I think he probably has his first Valentine Day
I
card
mean,
that
there
I
is
sent him, but
something
I have,
sentimental about it. There's nothing
yeah,
wrong with being sentimental about cards. But
absolutely.
because I do have a stack of cards, but I also have cards that when I get them, I just toss them out because,
Yeah,
like, some of the stuff that you've sent me, that's in the pile.
yeah,
Like, oh yes, that's from Casey. And I have other friends that have sent me cards, and it's a nice memory. But it's like I get a birthday card from my dad every year. And
mm,
he's really good at doing birthday cards. They all have meaning to them. But it's like, do I need to save every card?
yeah.
Thanks, Dad. I'm going to save the 500th birthday. I mean, I'm not that old, but in this experience,
In
I'm
this
not that old. But
experience,
other
yeah.
experiences, I might be 500. So I just think that it's interesting how if you want to talk about commercialism, and you
Mm,
did mention Christmas is like
mm,
the topper on the cake. But I also really feel like, I mean, I've had Independence Days when I drank alcohol, and we used to go up to the lake, and the family had the cabin. How much money I would spend on that weekend?
mm,
All the food, all the alcohol, all the alcohol.
yeah,
We go back down that road. I mean, and that's like not even as a heavy drinker, but just somebody who was hanging out with her family, getting drunk with her cousins, right? All the alcohol, all the food, whatever other functions that you're doing, chipping in for this, chipping in for that. And I didn't always have all sorts of money to be throwing at the weekend,
Yeah.
but there, that was another holiday where you would, and sometimes I would go camping. And we used to go to Yellow Lake in Wisconsin and spend a bunch of money. And then somebody's got to have fireworks. So you're spending more money on fireworks. Of course, you're in Wisconsin, so they're better. 'Cause Minnesota is a lame ass when it comes to fireworks. So, yeah, so I mean, you can still throw money at that holiday. St. Patrick's Day, drinking way too much, spending way too much money. All the bars raise their prices 50 cents more a drink,
Mm,
a quarter more a drink. It adds up on the business end, it adds up out of your wallet. And,
yeah.
and St. Patrick's Day isn't even a legitimate holiday anymore either.
It's not?
Where did they all come from? I mean, Easter, we don't really spend a lot of money on Easter, but we all do sit down and have a meal together on Easter.
We do
But we
spend a
used
lot.
to. I
Yeah.
don't celebrate Easter anymore.
Yeah, we have a I mean all of we can look back through history and many of the holy days that we celebrate today in a very commercialized fashion have roots all over the world. Um and like off the top of my head, right, St. Patrick's Day is when St. Patrick um no, that's Valentine's Day. Um
No,
I
St.
can't
Patrick, well, he supposedly got rid of the snakes or the rats or something, but there's another story that goes deeper than that one.
yeah. And I'm not
I don't quite know it exactly. St.
yeah,
Valentine's Day has like three different stories,
yeah.
which is kind of how we're talking Halloween. Like we've got Samhain, or however you pronounce that word, which is the Celtic, and then we've got the Americanized version. We have the in between on the hol. We've got All Saints,
All Souls
the
Day.
Day of the
Yeah.
Dead. There's all sorts of Puerto Los Muertos or whatever that's called in Mexico, where they do the masks, those really cool masks. So there's all sorts of different angles, and I think you were right on when you were pointing out the commercialization of the candy, and it kind of goes along with what I would like, the connection that we're making with razor blades equal bad shit. So buy
Yeah.
our candy,
Yeah.
right? Or poisons. You don't know what cyanide. I mean, what was a big bad guy back then that would end up in your cookies?
I have no idea. I mean,
The
I
lady
do
down
think,
the street
yeah.
made us
I
cookies with cyanide. And there's anthrax in there. I mean, what?
yeah.
How would
I,
you?
and
Wolfsbane. They put wolfsbane in my candy. I mean, how? But
yeah, I don't know. That is something that definitely was pushed during our growing up. But it doesn't mean that that there aren't it, I think that safety is paramount when it comes to this experience. I think that especially, if you are taking your kids out, I don't have children, but if even if I was walking down the street by myself in my neighborhood, to be aware of the surroundings. And I'm just saying safety in general, because I don't know the statistics behind that particular um push for to be like super careful about your candy. And I don't know like how, and I can't speak to it. Um but you could hypothesize and say that was like the when we were in the 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, when we were out doing our thing, getting our popcorn balls and our pencils, all of a sudden there was this huge push for commercialized candy, which turned into an $11 billion industry in the United States alone.
And we can talk about how bad candy is and how toxic it is and how toxic sugar is and all the
Yeah.
added ingredients and how they went from a big reason why I quit eating Reese's products is because they've changed it so much over time. Never really been a fan of Hershey's, and I'm sure that's been changed over time as well. And for a while, I was only eating snobby dark chocolate, but I love turtles. I love Rolos.
Yeah.
Suck down a stick of Rolos in no time when I'm in the mood for caramel. And that's Mars. But Mars is paired off with Hershey's.
Mm,
And if you watch, like the History Channel used to do like the candy that made America, the food that made America. And so I've seen all the stories according to the History Channel because I wasn't there, I wasn't alive at the time.
mm,
And they would talk about Mars Company, they would talk about the Hershey Corporation, Cultivate, Elevate, that guy, that Matt guy. He was talking about one of the world's fairs and how they rolled out all sorts of products at the World's Fair specifically to get you into being a consumer. Like,
mm.
we need your money. And I mean, we could go on about like the depression. So like Hershey's was a big deal in the depression. Mr. Goodbar was a big deal because it had peanuts and peanuts have protein and you can't afford to buy that loaf of bread, but for a nickel, here's a Mr. Goodbar with peanuts and protein.
Mm,
And so they would sell it. I mean, they're still doing it. You you can get a Snickers bar, what's it called? Cuz I'll still eat a Snickers, but I like the Snickers with almonds. Um you can get a Snickers bar that has extra caramel and extra nuts. So
mhm,
it's like less nougat. So
mhm.
before you know it, they're going to have a Snickers bar with just caramel and nuts because they keep changing. Like we were talking about those Reese's footballs, Christmas trees, hearts,
Yeah, they're
whatever else
changing.
that they're
They're
doing for the
changing to be,
holidays. They're just
yeah,
selling their product.
yeah. And I'm
That's all it is.
I grew up around Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I spent time at the amusement park, and of course, like the founder of Hershey Chocolate was doing a lot of really good things and still does a lot of really good things for the community, for people. Um, and that particular country was huge in the World War efforts,
Oh
right?
yeah, yep,
Every GI
they
that went
did.
got chocolate, and that was like one of the things that, and I love chocolate as well, and it's one of those superfoods when you have it, like you were saying, dark chocolate or whatnot. But it's something that was packed full of calories, and it got you through the day. But then again, like they also put cigarettes in MREs at that time. um
We could
so
talk about cigarettes.
yeah.
Hey, 75 cents a pack, and your dad sends you up to the bowling alley. Give me a pack of old golds. All right, Dad, I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and it just is, it just is it is how commercialization, how the consumer culture just evolved. And there's a lot of big companies that are doing really good things. So I'm not gonna knock the industry, the candy industry, for having like this big, huge idea that made them, billions of dollars. Like, ooh, go you. I would have had some kind of idea that would make me billions of dollars. It's just kind of,
Yeah, but that was back in the day.
it
That
was
was
back
back
in
in the
the day.
Industrial Revolution where they were all starting out.
Yeah.
And it's established now. And really, do they really need to do all the things that they're doing? Why can't they? But they do still sell Reese's peanut butter cups normal. but you can now get them with Reese's Pieces, pretzels. What else in there? Caramel. They make them white. They make them half and half, different colors for different holidays. They really do. They really need to do that? Do they really need our money that bad that they need to, like Oreo cookies? Just look at all the different types of Oreos there are: thin,
Yeah.
thick, normal, regular, pink, green, orange, rainbow, red, white, and blue. I mean, Oreo. Does Oreo really need to do that? Do they
I,
really need to do
I
all
don't
that?
know. I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm not
I love Oreo
expecting you to
cookies.
answer. It's
Yeah.
like kind of a rhetorical
It's kind of,
question. Like
yeah.
the company already is super successful.
Hmm.
People love their product. It's like
Hmm.
trying to sell toilet paper. Do you really need to put an ad out there for toilet? I mean, we all use it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they've modified toilet paper too,
Yeah,
based
you
on
get
what?
all different shapes and sizes now. Bamboo, uh, all different kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So, but toilet paper I get because nobody wants to put that Scott 1000 on their butt. That
I mean,
Scott 1000 brand that feels like paper.
at the
Put
end of the
paper down
day,
there.
at the end of the day, if that's all you have, you know,
At the end of the day, I'm thankful for the Scott 1000 if that's all I've got.
yeah.
But
And
they charge extra for it.
oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, it's more expensive than the other stuff.
Isn't it wrapped in paper too?
I don't
Instead of
know. But
plastic?
it's 1,000. It's like super thin toilet paper. It probably lasts you twice as long, but it's not gonna if if you're using twice as much because it's paper thin.
Mm, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We kind
So
of like went on,
Halloween,
we kind of went on a whole big thing.
Halloween, let's come back
Halloween.
around to
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah. So how can instead of and I'm not I think that it's great, take your kids out for a walk and get a nice you know, fill your bags with treats. Do what you want in order to honor that festival that has a thousands and thousands of years of tradition based in a loving and um yeah, I don't know why I'm saying loving. I feel like in a loving tradition where they were just trying to keep their crops safe because winter was on the way and we wanted to make sure that everybody was fed. That's
Yeah, a
yeah,
time of harvest and abundance.
yeah,
Celebrating, it was a really good time to celebrate what you brought in from the fields and continuing any crops that were still going because you still have late autumn crops.
yeah,
I don't know though. I don't know. Anyway, so we're not going to be around next weekend because I'm going to be up in Brainerd. But the weekend after, what's our topic? What do we want to do? Do we want to further our holiday talk? Maybe talk about Thanksgiving and how many different stories are involved in that holiday? Were the pilgrims really nice to the Native Americans or not?
yeah. That's I think we have other things, other topics on our agenda, but I can't think of them right off the top of my head.
No,
Um,
anyway, yeah. We talked about what we wanted to talk about. One was the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and that was last time.
mhm,
And then holidays, and then there was something else. And we were even brainstorming today.
yeah. I mean, I can talk about Christmas all day long. So
I said
I've done.
Christmas. That's another one that's got three stories.
I mean, it has a
Well,
lot
but
of
you know it from a religious perspective. like from way back, right? Because of your studies.
Well, I know it. Yeah, I know a lot about Christmas because of my studies. Yeah. I did a course. It was a fantastic course, and it was called Religion and Pop Culture. So what it did was it broke down these holy days, um, the correlation, the history, and then the commercialization, and 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 it like opened up a whole can of worms of um how I celebrate Christmas. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. I don't celebrate.
Yeah, you don't
I
even
get
celebrate. You're not even a birthday celebrator.
I don't
We can talk
celebrate
about that
anything.
too. I love talking about celebrating birthdays.
We celebrate birthdays with a lunch and a card and some money.
Yeah.
But birthdays even are not legit either because you only have one birthday, the day you were born.
Yeah.
But you can also throw into that a rebirthing process. That's why some people call it your solar return because the sun has come back around 1 year since you were, well, however you want to call that, however you want
Yeah.
to describe that. But you get
Yeah.
what I'm
And then
saying.
yeah.
Instead of your birthday, it's a solar return because it's 1 year since you last celebrated.
Right. And there's a long, long, long history into the celebration of birthdays, why we have cake, why we have sweets at that time, and it's quite fascinating. I love birthdays, so I could talk about that all day too.
I don't mind birthdays. I was brought up until I was about maybe 7 or 8. We would have big parties, and my mom would like make the cake and buy decorations and invite all the neighborhood kids. All the neighborhood kids got a paper hat, and maybe a blower thing that made noise, and they would bring you a gift. And you would play games, pin the tail on the donkey, and some other games, you would play and it was always fun. But then at some point in time, the parties kind of went away, and it turned into like more of a family thing where you would just get together with the family, and it was not as fun because not everybody in the family brought a gift. Sometimes the family members just showed up to hang out.
Hmm.
It's so and so's birthday, and so we're just gonna go show up and hang out.
Hmm.
And it wasn't like we didn't play pin the tail on the donkey.
Right.
It was different, and it wasn't so much about me and my birthday as it was about the family getting together, which was good too. But when you're a greedy little kid and you're used to getting spoiled by your neighbors, and now all of a sudden you're not. And
Yeah.
then it dropped off, and then my parents got divorced. My dad never celebrated, and my mom had problems, so it kind of turned into a nothing burger. And it was actually like my dad was just, I'm sure families listening, I don't care. My dad was a huge disappointment when it came to certain things. Celebrating birthdays was one of them.
Hmm.
And just being around as a dad, he just was not there.
Hmm.
So that was part of it. And then, of course, my mom was a neurotic mess after the divorce. And we would still celebrate birthdays with her, but it just wasn't the same. And then it
Hmm.
turned into drunk fest. It's so-and-so's birthday. Let's go see how ripped we can get. And then you're out drinking and passing out in a field,
Hmm.
and it's like, that's not fun, so birthdays have been for a long time a lunch and a card with money. And there is no celebrating. When I see people doing birthday month, I just want to throw up.
Hmm.
Like, you don't get to celebrate your birthday for the
I do.
entire month.
I do.
Yeah, but
Yep.
you're a Christmas baby.
I mean, not really. I think that, um,
No,
like,
you're a
just
New
kind of
Year's
like,
baby.
yeah. I think there's a very beautiful aspect to having to celebrating that we chose to take birth, or that we were, or that we made it here, right? Because not everybody makes it. And
And
I
we
think that,
continue to make it.
yeah, and I was thinking about this yesterday, right? There's kind of like um this realization that, like, why not, and I know that you talk about this, like, why not the celebrate every day? And yeah, you can
Be
celebrate
thankful
every
every
day,
day. Love your people every day.
thankful every day,
Be
love your people
independent
every
every
day,
day. Think of the
random
soldiers every
of
day.
random acts of kindness, and all of those kinds of things. And that, but it there is still this very special, um spiritual experience surrounding birthdays. Like, not only, and we're kind of going in a whole different view of
Halloween
it,
to
right? Like,
birthdays.
not only did I make it, did I make it Earthside, but then also, like, that is a signification, or a of my mother's next stage in her for altars of divine feminine.
Yeah,
So,
see, I destroyed my parents' life by showing up.
yeah,
You've
yeah.
got this wonderful, beautiful perspective, also because you're a doula and you see the birthing process as a birthing process with people who are more than likely have planned that child. Or, well, maybe it wasn't planned, but we were gonna do kids anyway. No. My parents were 17 when I showed up on the ultrasound. And I was born in a really cool building. It's super cool. And I could probably drive by it. It's like a really old, it's got a lot of character, a lot better than a hospital. But I was told that I was a lesser child because I was born in that other building, which
Hmm.
was basically a wayward home for girls that were promiscuous. Come on, they were next door neighbors. And they were getting it on, and next thing you know, I show up. Hi, how you doing? How's it going? And in my book, I'll write about how I wonder what my parents' lives would have been if it was not for me. What would my
Hmm.
mom and dad have done with their lives if I would not have shown up? Because it wasn't
Hmm.
easy. In 1969, 1970, they were not happy that they were pregnant. And you've got a PTSD grandpa that's still trying to figure out his PTSD from World War II. And you've got another grandpa whose wife is stepping out on him. And then you've got a daughter and a son who are having their own child. It was
Hmm.
not a pretty environment. So, and as the person who I am, the spiritual, intuitive star child that I am, I can go back and remember that shit. I have had to overcome the unwanted child saga. Like that took a long time to overcome. And then to top it off, to have a father who ignored us and didn't want anything to do with celebrating. So you would, here's an example. Remember Farrell's ice cream? I'm sweating now.
No.
Farrell's ice cream. It was an ice cream parlor. I don't know, maybe it was Minnesota in Midwest because you grew up on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So my grandma and her husband, the grandma that was stepping out on the grandpa for whatever reason she had. But back then, you couldn't just divorce your husband. I mean, culture was different. So, her and her new husband brought me to Farrell's, and I remember it was just me and them. And that she was actually kind of fun because she would bring us to like ice capades and the circus, and the other grandma didn't do that. Um, so it was my birthday, and I didn't know I was there for my birthday. Like they were going to come sing, and they all came over and sang. I don't know how old I was, 7 or 8. I thought I was on top of the room. My grandma's all, stand up, get up, come on. And I get up on the booth, up on the seat, and I'm dancing around like a little kid. I'm super excited. I'm loving it. It's absolutely awesome and fabulous. But how come we couldn't continue to do that? Why can't we continue to celebrate ourselves that way? Oh no, 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 no. Stacey, sit down and shut up because no, we're not doing that anymore.
Hmm.
That's why Gen X is feral. That's why we are the way we are. Because all those mofos that were raising us and watching out for us were assholes. Don't celebrate. And my grandma, so like the year later, my brother's there, my mom is there, and we're at Farrell's. Yes, I stand up on the booth, and my mother's pulling me down. Get down from there. You're going to fall and crack your head open. You know what I'm saying? Quit having fun because you might get hurt. Oh, yeah. And then my brother resenting me because I was having fun and it wasn't his birthday. But then we go back to Farrell's for his birthday and he's allowed to stand up because he's a boy and he must have a head made of steel. Yeah. So,
All right. So until next time.
Halloween. So birthday therapy session. The reason why Stacey doesn't celebrate birthdays is because she's been told to shut the fuck up all her life about celebrating herself. Quit celebrating yourself. Quit doing that. You're a girl. We're afraid for you. But nobody ever taught me how to whatever. Feral. I've worked out a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of stuff to work out, and I've worked out a lot of my stuff. But I celebrate my birthday myself. You want to know what I do? Well, I used to go get a fancy beer, but I don't drink beer anymore. I don't even drink anymore. I go to one of the fancy bakeries and I get a scratch made tiramisu or a tart or something that I know some fabulous person in the back room made from scratch, decorated meticulously. It's $12 for that. I don't care. It's my birthday. And then I will choose my favorite restaurant and I will go get takeout. And then I will just hang out with myself for a minute and enjoy my day with myself. And because I've been disappointed, let down, ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends, former friends, all the people on my birthday. Like, I had a birthday where I was hanging out with a friend and she was trying to get me to like kiss random guys and like dress a certain way. And she wanted me to do things a certain way for my fucking birthday. I don't get to act how I want to act. You're going to tell me what to do on my birthday? I didn't talk to her for a long time after that. I screamed at her, got right in her face, and told her what's up. After how many drinks I had and guys I did not kiss. So there you go. So I celebrate with just me because I don't expect anybody else to say happy birthday because it's always been a disappointment. And if I don't expect anyone, then I'm not disappointed. And if I celebrate myself, I'm doing self love. But I don't even celebrate for the whole month. And it used to be that I would never tell anybody it was my birthday because then they expect you to do stupid shit. Like Stacy's birthday, she can drink 20 beers. No, she can't drink 20 fucking beers. It's your birthday. Let's go eat over there where I want to eat. Don't ask Stacy where she wants to eat. I want to eat over there. So it's never about me. It's always about somebody else. Somebody else needs to feel good celebrating somebody else's birthday.
Mm.
So if I ever make you feel like you're not important on your birthday, I apologize because I'm not good at it. Halloween.
All right.
What's up with Halloween? But I've been working at getting better at celebrating other people's birthdays, like sending cards in the mail or celebrating how they want to. I've always been good about celebrating how they want to celebrate, but sometimes I don't pay attention. Sometimes I forget. You know, it's like my grandma. She used to have everyone's birthday written down on the calendar. She knew, and she would send everybody would get a letter and a check and cards, and she'd call you up on the phone. If she was in town, she'd take you out to lunch. So maybe I need to get back into that.
Maybe.
Sending out cards.
Or making cards
Yeah, well, oh, whatever. Yeah.
or just a sticker. Everybody loves stickers.
I mean, when is your birthday anyway? Aren't you a December baby?
I'm a January baby.
I thought you were a December baby.
No, January. Yeah. That was a
Hot
long
diggity, dog diggity. How is anyone watching us on Facebook? Nobody's watching.
I mean it's Friday night. It,
True.
it's Friday night on so it can be a little
So we can do Stacy's birthday therapy talking about Halloween.
I mean next time if you want to do a little birthday therapy next time, maybe
Oh, what are your thoughts on what I said? Because you have must have, like my stepmom yelled at me once
Mm,
for not celebrating,
mm,
my stepsister's birthday. But they
mm,
weren't exactly celebrating mine either.
mm. Yeah.
But
Mm,
I've had conversations with her like, birthdays are more important than you realize.
yeah. Um, it sounds like it sounds like you feel like you had a shitty string of birthdays where you felt powerless, where you felt unseen, unheard, unappreciated. And because of that, you choose not to celebrate your birthday with others.
Yeah, it was a continuous letdown every year. And when you're young and you build up all the expectation and all the excitement and then it goes south, it's like, wow, really? Why did I get excited? Why did I give it another chance and another chance and another chance and another chance and another chance?
Yeah,
I don't mind going out to lunch and getting the money and the card and hanging out. That's cool. But I don't do anything with my friends. I mean, I give my friends gifts if I happen to see them, if it happens to come up. But you know what, Casey? A lot of my friends don't really celebrate either.
yeah. I mean, I think it's important to kind of evaluate that what happened in the past where you felt unseen, unheard, unrecognized, maybe even like pushed around a little bit, is in the past. And it sounds like you did some work with that. Like I think maybe it is also because I mean I haven't had like what's that called? Like a picture perfect childhood experience either. And I think that it took me a long time for me to shift my perspective around why I would celebrate my birthday or why I would celebrate somebody else's birthday. Um, and then the more
It,
that it was kind of like it almost sounds like you feel like you felt undeserving, like that you felt like you didn't receive what you had hoped for. And because of
no,
that,
not at all.
yeah,
It was like the opposite. And that day, that time in Farrell's, when my grandma would, get up, come on, have fun, and I was like, wow, really cool. And when you're a kid, you don't realize you don't have you don't have that feedback history. I had not been mistreated on my birthday at that point until the following year when my mom told me to get the F down off that chair. "Oh, we're not doing that."
yeah,
And then
yeah,
I even was like, wow, really? Really? Really, mom? But my mom had her own problems. So
yeah.
so
And
when
it's
when
important
there
that
were times on my birthday when I was seen, it was super uncomfortable.
mm,
Because then it was like, all right, now everyone's looking at me and you're all singing and I feel extra stupid and who's going to be the douchebag and wreck it?
yeah, so you felt it sounds like because of your past experiences, you felt like even on the moments that you were seen that you you were waiting, as they say, for the other shoe to drop.
Because it always did. Like I just got done explaining chance after chance after chance after chance. And then
Yeah.
it turns into no more chances. And then it
Yeah.
turns into I'm just gonna go hide for my birthday. And I never told anybody when my birthday was. And there were times when people would blow my cover, like somebody would see me, like when I was working at the bar in the kitchen, and they would be like, like my aunt happened to stop by, or somebody would pop in the kitchen window and go, happy birthday. And that's what I mean. And then all of a sudden you got 5 drinks in the window and you're expected to drink them all because everybody wants to buy you a drink. Oh, so me and my liver are going to crawl home later. Like
Mm.
this is not fun. Getting this annihilated because everybody wants to celebrate is not so no.
Right.
And then I'm seen again, and then I'm super drunk, and then the next day you show up, boy, you were really fucked up last night for your fucking birthday, and then it's a big thing. You're all high fiving everybody, and it's like she got super fucked up. How you feeling today? Is that really a celebration? In the back of my mind, I'm like, are you really my friends?
Yeah, but it sounds like that you have like worked to get past that and that now you make your birthday about what you want, and that's going and getting the pastry that you want and getting your favorite thing, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I could celebrate other people's birthdays better because I like
Yeah.
having fun and celebrating stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
But
maybe
I
those.
also don't know who's going to take it the right way and who's not going to take it the right way because a lot of my friends don't celebrate.
Mm.
The gal that I'm going to go hang out with this coming weekend probably would not celebrate the way I would want to celebrate. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm
it's
going
their
to show up
birthday. But
and
it's
put
their
my
birthday.
expectations on her. I want to celebrate your birthday. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
So now it's my expectations on your day.
you can celebrate another person without putting your expectations on them.
She doesn't want to celebrate, but I do.
Well, you can, it's
See?
possible.
See?
Yeah, I mean it is. It's possible. It's possible to celebrate another person without.
I still celebrate the way she wants. I get her a pound of coffee and a card and a couple other goodies, and we're good. I know
Yeah,
that friend. I know that friend well enough to know where she would be in her celebration.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't get invited to parties either, which is fine. I don't need that.
yeah. All right.
Halloween! It's commercialized. Thanks everyone for listening to Stacey's birthday therapy. I hope you all learned something from that and you don't think that I'm a cold-hearted bitch or that I got like a problem because I don't because I've worked it out. But now that
Mm,
I know Casey is a little more excited about her birthday, I might be a little more apt to be a little more excited about your birthday.
mm,
Maybe, okay, you're a January baby. So what? January's got 31 days.
yeah.
How would you feel if I mailed you a card every day?
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
That's 31 cards. Wouldn't that be exciting? What
Yeah,
if I just sent you a really cool gift? See, and that's part of it too, where it's like, I really like to give really cool, special gifts
mm,
that people are really going to enjoy. And I draw a blank. I got tumbleweeds going through there. What is that person? What would they really appreciate for their birthday?
yeah. I mean, some people. I've. I don't know. I've
See?
really.
All
Yeah.
right,
I mean,
let's get
well, like.
Casey a really cool piece of furniture. And then it's like, because I could get you like an antique, like hutch or secretary. Wouldn't you think that's cool?
I mean, it is, but I don't have any room in my space.
See? Well, how
Yeah.
about, hmm, art? That wall behind you is blank.
Um, I think just a simple happy birthday is fine.
See? See? Birthdays are weird.
Mm, no, I mean,
What else can I get you? Can I fly you to Minnesota?
yeah, sure.
I mean, that's $400.
It's very cold in Minnesota.
Let's
Um,
maybe I should fly down to Florida.
yeah, come anytime.
I haven't seen the ocean in forever.
Mhm.
See, maybe that's a plan. It's months away. Maybe I should. When's your? Oh, don't tell me your birthday. Maybe I should do that. What's the closest hotel?
Like across the street from where I live. I live in a
Get
tourist town.
out.
Yeah, I live in a tourist town, so there's all kinds of spots.
And then, yeah, we'll have to talk. We'll have to discuss.
Yeah, let's talk. Um, all right.
See, I found something that you'd like.
I mean, I would, I would appreciate any gifts, but I also
I
am
suck at
fine with,
gifts.
I'm fine with just a happy birthday as well. Um,
But that's no fun if you're into celebrating.
yeah, I mean, I am, but I think I
That's what I'm saying.
celebrate,
Like, this is why birthdays are weird.
I don't
See?
know.
See, now you're doing this and you're all like, oh, but just
No,
telling me
it's
happy
not.
birthday
It's
is
not.
okay
I mean,
too. You don't have to spend that kind of money. You don't have to actually come see me. But yeah, why not?
I've been, yeah, I'm at a loss of words, and we've been on for a very long time, and I have a very early morning,
Oh
so
my God, I know, right? I need to
yeah,
eat dinner. I'm having tacos. What time is it? Hey, man, love you, Casey. Thanks for listening to the crap.
yeah, my pleasure. All
and
right.
for allowing me to do my birthday event. And maybe I feel better. Maybe I needed to have this happen. You know, it's funny. I'm going to say it real quick. Evan, the astrologer, was saying today that the Aries is going to get emotional about something and release emotions. Emotions I didn't realize I had. I mean, I worked
Mm.
it all out. I'm cool with birthdays. But all that stuff, yeah. And I said it in front of everybody. Hi, everybody.
All right. Well, and
Let me go first.
you've
As an
also
Aries, let me go first.
yeah. You've also given people that are listening an idea of when your birthday is. So,
Oh, yeah.
all right.
I'm an April Aries, by the way. All right. Love you. Good to
We'll see
see
you
you.
next time. All right. Cheers.
I'm gonna end both of them. See you later.
See you.
And stop recording.